Well, good evening everyone. Welcome back to another stream to be Overthunk by Sharky. We are back here for a little bit more Minecraft build challenge as we continue into what is now our 4th episode of our attempt to construct the country. Let it all load in. There we go. So this is our primary objective at the moment. We've been working towards building a scale model of Australia, each block representing a 10-kilometre distance, and things have come along quite nicely. We've got the country fully established here. We've got even Tasmania added on there now. We've got 90% of New Zealand added on there, even little peaks of some places further up north starting to come through for proximity. And last time we started to mark off some of the state borders to separate out Western Australia from South Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. And your eyes don't deceive you, that some of these do look like they're a little bit wobbly at this distance. It's a little bit awkward. If I come across here, I feel like I want to get them straightened up because they look annoying at this height, but this is unfortunately just a representation of the curvature of the Earth as it's projected down onto a 2D plane over such a vast distance, because that horizontal line there should be horizontal, and these vertical lines here and this one along here, they should be vertical, but of course there's ever so slight curvature that messes with that. And then we've got some wonky bits over here where the borders decide to randomly start following rivers and things for some sections here. We've got a little bit more to finalize here. So this is not start marking out anymore. This is continue marking out the boundaries of the states, because if I just take a dive down here, plonk, that feels weird, not landing on the water, just snapping my ankles hitting the ground there. We've got the state of New South Wales, which from this vantage point really doesn't look all that big. You know, when you think about it, each block being 10 kilometers, the distances go by very quick. We've got one more border that we haven't really marked out, and that's the boundary between New South Wales and the ACT, the Australian Capital Territory, the boundary for our national state, our national capital. So I'm going to need to bring up a bit of map stuff again in the background here. Let's throw that back on. And this is going to be real awkward, because I just guessed this border here. It was getting very difficult to tell where exactly these sorts of things were for the scale I was going at. The map I've got's not an amazing resolution, and so I just started roughly guessing these. So these could be like out by 10 or 20 or 30 kilometers, 1 or 2 or 3 blocks in all sorts of directions. So just as a complete stab in the dark, somewhere about here, we're going to mark out the Australian Capital Territory. Let me scroll my other map over here, get a rough idea of where things are looking. So somewhere at about, what is 360 by 340, and how close is it to that? Uh, 360 by 340. I'll just sit that there for now. 360 by 340. Yeah. So that square should sort of line up with roughly here in terms of like relative like discrepancy between my maps and things like that. So I'm kind of out by about that much, whatever that is. So 60 to 64, That's 40 to... oh, let me put it there. And that's exactly 4 by 4. Sort of out from there, roughly. So if I use that, and kind of mimic the same sort of offness up here, it'll be pretty close, really. So, let me go to 370 by 330. Let's find where that is. Oh, right about here. $370 by 330. So that needs to get offset by about the same sort of amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, that was too much. So right about here. So that's that relative point. Let's see. Yeah, let's just wander along the ground and think this through. So I'm going to have 1 there and 2 more there. So we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that and that. And we got that, and then from this one, let's go 1, 2, 3 up. Whoops, from this one, 1, 2, let's go 3 up. Hello, chicken. And let's do that. Come across to here, and then this is where I completely lose sight of things. Under the map. Can't see exactly what's going on there. Let's add a bit of time on. I'm gonna have to adjust my mapping in order to get a good sort of view of what that's doing there. Let's try this other map instead. That. Okay. Right, so looking at this from the air, yeah, okay. So let's do a bit of pixel maths then. That'll be one way to do this. So let's go, where can I go? Measure distance from there to there. That's about just under 90 kilometers. So from here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So something like that. Ish. Gets us to our kind of highest point there. And how far out does this go? Sort of from side to side. If I move this one here, that one there, that's only going to be like 5 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is about as far as it goes. So I will do that. But then I'll do that. Okay. I think I can get rid of this one. Excuse me. Alright. So a bit chonky compared to some of the others. Let me get rid of these guide blocks now. Just looking at sort of some of these corner bits, whether I really need some of them. I suppose it's fine. It's fine. It makes it so tiny in comparison to like the rest of the state. But there we are. That's like that's now all of our states marked off. Mark that one down. Pause for a drink already. What we need to do at some point, which we may as well do now, I guess, is all these pillars in the ocean have to go. So I reckon we start preparing the difficult task of getting rid of all of those. Basically, it'll be a lot of just cloning water. But excuse me. Got to make sure that I can do this, and that there's not going to mess up the water too much. I want to see what happens. Yeah, even bits on the coast like that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to punch all these down. I am going to do like a fill command. But yeah, I want to examine ones that are just under edges of coasts and various things like that. So I need to have a little look around all of our coastlines. Make sure that we haven't got some that we've buried under the edges of grid lines and things. Because they're going to be the fiddliest to deal with. So what I'll do, because I can do this in a big rectangular chunk now, I can do a heap of rectangular clearing. I've just got to think really carefully about this, and we'll be filling with water instead of filling with dirt. So if I go to here, let's look at this one, and let's go fill So fill from that. Excuse me. I'm going to be doing a lot of coughing tonight, so apologies in advance about that. I'll do my best to catch them with the microphone as much as I can. And we'll complete the fill out to here if we can. And we want to do just Minecraft water, I think. That'll surely work, won't it? Look at that. There we go. So we've replaced all of that with a rectangle of water. So it should be that easy. I just have to do the inverse of what we were doing with filling in the insides. I've got to get nice big sort of square edges that I can fill the outside with. So like from this one here all the way through to out there somewhere would be great. So question is, how much did I just fill then? Successfully filled 123. Right, so it doesn't count blocks that are already water. That's good to know, because that means I might be able to do a ginormous area here. So if I take that all the way down to here, to this one, and then run that all the way across to here, nothing up in this section here should have anything in it. So this one right here, moment of truth, make sure that we don't break anything. Oh, okay. Okay, well. I guess it does count everything in between. It's just because that was all like 1 block wide. So what was that? That's like, yeah, 2 or 3 times too many. So let's just come back to like here instead. That's not what I wanted. That. A little bit closer. One more. There we go. And so it still only says filled 300 and whatever, but it's got to scan its way through like 30,000. So we are still operating under those rules. So there are still kind of limits to what we're doing here. Okay. So yeah, we are still going to have to do this kind of in chunks. But that's fine. We'll just do this by sight. So, again, fill from that to... If I was doing some counting, I would actually have counted this. But let's just go to, say, this one. Oh no! I only did 1 block high. Oh, I did the top. I gotta do the bottom. Yeah. Didn't catch that. Yeah, I only did minus 56. Now that's minus 58. That's better. That's better. Alright, and from here we'll catch, well, yeah, let's catch the bottom of this one. And we'll just go to the top of that outside corner. Let's add a bit more time on. And I've just realized that, of course, the overlay isn't describing what we're doing. Remove all of the grid markers in the water. There we go. Okay, so that's a nice one there, because that's a clean cut down through there. So let's go from the bottom block here. Let's take that down as far as we like that we kind of can. Be great if we could do it to this one here. Go to the top of this one. Great. And now we'll reassess back here. Oh yeah, we got to watch. We got to watch the coast, because like yeah, there's a bit of grid line hiding under that edge there. Maybe we do that at the very end. Maybe we do a lap of the coast afterwards. No, or maybe we just do a proper job of it now. Just actually clean the coast now while we go. Yeah. It's not that hard. Making more of a deal of it than it really is. So, from here, we can go down a decent bit again. So, let's fill from there. Can we do this whole bit here? Because that's all in the clear. Oh, that's one too big. That's a shame. There we go. So, take out a few by hand here. Keep an eye out for where things tuck under the edge of the country. Okay. So, yeah, we've got a gigantic stripe there we could do. But we could we could do better than that coming back in. Sort of here. Let's take this one up to wherever we can there. So let's go the bottom down here. All the way up to the top over here somewhere. Yep, that'll work. That's clean. Right. Which means we should just be able to go and tidy up a little bit of New Zealand now. Some interesting floaty bits, like, you know, this bit entirely floats, but yeah, it just adds to some of the, I don't know, adds to something. I don't know where I'm going with that. There's a whole band there I can do. No need to go out so far like that. And yeah, we would have gotten all the ones that were grid lines in the middle here. I'll take that one, because that's right on the edge of things there. And there's a whole nice square there. But let's just do these two strips here for now. So we'll go from just the bottom here to the top of this next one, 2 across, or 1 across, 2 wide. Fence post problem. There we go. Same deal here, but if I take them out, then that's 3 wide. And in fact, if I take those 3 out, it'd be even better. I could do that gigantic square there. From the top of this one right here to the bottom of that far corner. Bam. Okay. Now we got this one to tidy, and then, well, take out those 2 at least, and these ones, because now we're technically at the bottom of the world here. Yeah, this is the actual cut off at the bottom here, so I definitely need to hide these rows to hide my shame. But let's jump over to this bit here, hide some of these pieces, Here's a bit that's tucked under. Saw that one. Okay. That's fine, nothing else tucked under there. So, what have we got that we can do? If I take this one out, got a nice square edge there. And if I take, yeah, take these 5 out here. Yep, I can do from here across to wherever I like. So let's take the bottom of this to somewhere over here. To this one. Okay. I'll get that one while I've seen it. And I suppose I should do a lap of Tasmania and just get all of its bits while I see them, since there seems to be a lot of underhang in Tasmania for some reason. I'll just do these couple by hand. There's fiddly bits in between here. They're gonna have to just get punched as well, I think. That awkward bit in there was kind of blocking the water. Add a bit more time onto there. There we go. Just take this one out, just for squareness of things. So, yep, we can take out a big strip of, well, these two here. Let's just do, for now, that one to the top of this one. Doing it again. Okay. Then we can get tidy about the bottom of here. So I should do these two. But then I can take out this whole chunk of them here. Okay. If I take out this tiny squad here, in this small scale fill command, this one, take out that block of them, and I should be able to comfortably sweep that section there as well. From the bottom of here, over to here. Okay. Suddenly looking a lot vaster now. The the open oceans. It really spreads out. Okay, then we've got like all this big section down the bottom here, so we can do a little bit of fine tuning here. If we're careful, we can leave that corner there and trim in from here a bit. Just sort of tidy up a little bit. So, ooh, that was a sneaky one. Sneaky. So that's a nice edge there. So yeah, just manually take a few of these out, just to help things along a bit here. Nothing up in here. This is all good. Oh, another one. So that one and that one. Okay. So that's a nice square edge there. There's a good square edge internally here I can do, but it will require, let's say, cleaning some of these manually. Any more around this edge to be aware of? No. Oh, that's the wrong key. Yeah, so let's just take this whole strip out. Do a row or two manually here through the inside of the bite. Alright, and just sort of tidy up these ones as we see it. That's the state boundary there. Dropping down into the water. Interesting sort of appearance it makes there when it does that. Okay. That's giving us a good point there. So where does that come across to? This one. Yep. So this one, bottom of here. Oh, make sure I'm looking at the bottom. To the top of that corner over there. We can fill that in. Just. Okay. That's cleaned that whole section. And we can just tidy that. We can just do a medium small one here. Over there. Just saves a little bit of time there. And likewise here up to the other side there. Okay, then we've got a gigantic rectangle here that we can start taking some stripes out of. So, we'll just run back down it and see how many we can get. And let's do counting. So let's attempt to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's attempt to remove 6. Easy. How much more could we go? No, that's not what I wanted at all. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try and remove 8 of them. Yep, we can do that. Alright. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try for 9. Nope. 8 it is. Okay, good counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no. Oh, that makes me sad. Oh, that's still the wrong thing. And then there's that one strip there. Let's add a bit of time back on. Let's take this strip down from here. Okay. So that's got all the bottom of that cleaned up now, which is by far the biggest open sort of expanse. Now we'll just sneak around this side. Yeah, get this one out from underneath here. Let's do... Yeah, let's take these ones out ourselves. Because there's a nice block of them here. From this corner here. Back to there. Okay. I see that one tucked under there. Excuse me. There's a couple of them, in fact, up around the corner here too. Look at them all. Just gliding through the water there. Yeah, let's just do a few more. Yep, we will cleanly miss that. We can shoot across there, so if it'll let me, this corner all the way up to the top there would work. Let's try it. So from that one all the way up to the top here, all the way back to 0, 0. Look at that. 0, 0. Where everything began. It did. Perfect. I see that one tucked under there. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. And bam, bam. Alright. Same deal. Let's do those ones up to there. I'll have to skirt this edge a bit carefully here. There's all sorts of things I spotted there. Let's just take that. Yeah, this had a red one hiding in here. That one, of course. Look at that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix the water there. There we go. So if we take those 3 out, I can technically... Whoa, let's get that before we never see it again. There isn't one hiding under here as well for that. If there was, we got it already. So I can take... Well, let's take these couple out and just do a chunk even one further across. Yep, 2 of them back there. One there. One there. Ah. Okay. That's... Yep, just there. So, if I do this pile here, it's going to leave those 5 over there, but that's fine. We'll come back for them. Okay. Alright. Up into these bits around the Northern Territory here. Oh, bit of ambient rain. Clearing up the water. Alright, take those out. Keep an eye on the mainland. No weird little bits. Yes! Would you look at that? That's a bit we may never have spotted. And all that's like internal. I can do that in a sec. So that's all clear there. All the way through to... oh, to here. Talk about filling this section with rain. Filling it with water, filling it with rain. Okay. So let's just let's just tuck in here. Get some of these specific ones from out of here. Okay, so that's just a square we can do. If we take out some of these ones here. And a red one fully there. Okay, yep, well we can take that big sort of chunk out the middle there. And then we just mop up what's left. Okay. In there anywhere. It's also getting dark now. Raining and also nighttime. And of course there'll be nothing around this side because that's the hard edge. Although I did see one in that far corner around there. Okay. This is like close to where we started. Yep, so we just got a couple of random tidy ups here to do. Let's just take from this one through to that one, and then go from there. Now, there would have been nothing in this first one that we overlooked back while we were still getting practiced for this. Nah, everything's there. So we just take out these couple by hand. Okay. And it's just this pile of them here. Yeah, that unfortunately tucks a bit close there. So we probably should take out that whole line. Then we can take out that chunk of them there. Okay, and then just like a dozen to go. So close on estimation was actually 13. And that, if we slowly ascend into the sky again, turn that off, have another sip of drink as we do. Alright. So that has cleaned up a lot of the scenery around now. We get that nice sort of curvature of the Earth feel because of the render distance, that kind of radial render distance that we've got. It's if we go far enough out, it looks like we're just sort of losing sight of the rest of the world, as it were. You could almost argue it's all there. It's just beyond the render. It's all the rest of the world, but nah. Okay, looking much nicer now. Let's do that weather. Just so that we can see it a bit more clearly. That's a bit nicer. There we go. Okay. So, remove all the grid markers in the water. That objective is now done. What's next on the agenda? What about that one? Mark out capitals, cities, and other important locations. Okay, so this is where things are going to get tricky again. Trying to map down where the capital cities are in a really rough sense, and some other locations of note. So we have to bring that back on again. So I'm going straight into here for Canberra because that's going to be the easiest one, the nation's capital, down here somewhere. So first things first, got to work out what sort of tile are we going to do for cities of interest. We've had red sand. What have we got in the yellow department? Ooh, yellow shulker box. Not doing that. Concrete powder, concrete wool. We could just go into yellow wool. But yellow concrete, maybe? What's yellow concrete look like? I don't mind that. Marking out important cities like that. Whoops. With a bit of yellow concrete. Something solid without the same sort of grassy texture. Because the thing I like, yes, about this red sand is it carries through the same texture as the grass. So it's like you've just taken a chalk line and drawn on top of the terrain. Whereas this might sort of better highlight, development and stuff like that. So somewhere about here, we're going to have Canberra. So let me bring up some sort of a map again and attempt to work out where it even is. 20 in from there, 30 in from there. Oops. That's not what I want. There's your distance from there to there. Okay. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So literally here. There you go. There's Canberra. Is it within a 10 by 10 sort of footprint? Let's see what it reckons. Well, so all that's classified as Canberra. Okay. Well then, in that case, oh dear, that's completely the wrong button. So that's Canberra. That's still Canberra, and I would argue so is that and that. And that, and maybe even that, and that. we'll just do that. That's Canberra. There. Okay. Easy done. So the next one would be Sydney. And we get a whole lot harder all of a sudden now. So, let's try and do a bit of maths here. So from the border, excuse me, from that tippy tip where the border is, I've got to go up about, let's say, go up about 400 kilometers, so about 40 blocks. Right, so from this tippy tip here, if I go up 40 blocks, that's going to get me at least in line with Sydney. So let's get some coordinates going. So if that's at 343, then 303. Let's come out to the water at 303. So this sort of thing here, this is our up 40. Okay, so if I come in here now, so from here, let's say about 4 blocks back out. Oh. So if we're going out to sort of the coast here, and it is a bit of a weird lumpy bit here, I'm not sure that I agree with that per se. It's also nicely in line with the edge of the border there. Is that really the case? Let's have a look. It's not at all. Should be higher than it. So of course there's some issues here, which again is curvature issues. Let's go from this point straight north. So lots of ruler measuring here that you guys can't really see. So that's part of that squiggly border there. But roughly speaking, it's about 500 kilometers from there from Sydney up to the squiggly border up there. Pushing E. Like, that seems high. That's all I'm saying. Because that was, what, 400 blocks? Take us up there to 40 more. So, from this, is this up to 250 up here now? Oh, it is. This is 250-ish. So, yeah, this is actually pretty close. Like, I might go up like 3 blocks or something. That kind of thing. And use that as my reference point. Okay, so from this sort of point. Yeah, we've got to go 4 in. So that's the 4 in there. What's the sort of highest up it gets? Reaches 20 k's up from that point, but also let's say 20 k's down. Yeah, let's do there 50. That sort of thing there 40. This sort of thing out here like 60. And then 50. That sort of thing roughly. So it's not the prettiest, but that's Sydney. I guess we should start putting signs down for these things, really. Now, how would we actually do? Are we just gonna do a sign? Is there a better way of doing this? Let's see. Is there anything else we can write on? Like, you could do books in, like, lecterns. You could do name tags on things. I think a sign cuts straight to the point. And classic oak sign's probably the best. Yeah, because that picks up the border colour. What about some of these yellower ones? Maybe the birch one, actually. It's just I don't really like the birch trunk there. The bamboos. Yeah, I say bamboo. So, this is Canberra. There we go. And let's jump over. Oh! Ah! It's okay, Katooth, you're here. Yes, bamboo, the classic Australian wood. Welcome, welcome. In the last, what's it been? Oh, it's been an hour now. In the last hour, quick update. We have put in the ACT because it wasn't marked in yet. We've been through the water and removed all of the grid markers. All of the pink and red grid markers have been meticulously taken out. And now we are marking out some capital cities on the landscape with roughly their footprint, which is a complete guess with a bit of stuff from Google Maps, because my terrain map to scale doesn't really have good city to scale representation on it. So we're just eyeballing some stuff here. How did I do this one? Yep, so name and state, And I'll try to keep these basically northward facing. Oh, and that one's slightly crooked. So that's going to annoy me. Here we go. As best as I can do it. Okay. So there's Sydney. I guess we should do Melbourne while we're here. Famously rival to Sydney. Let me pop back over to the maps. Work out where Melbourne even is. Okay, now it's a much easier one to figure out by terrain. That's Melbourne there. Melbourne hooks around that. So that's a whole lot easier to do. It's just going to be where I kind of define that boundary. Because it gets a bit narrow in at some parts. And then it widens out in other parts. So let's sort of have a little geezer around here. So up the top here, let's get a distance going. Reaches out 3 that way, let's say 3 up, and 4 that way, kind of thing. So from here, reaches out like that, reaches out there, 3 that way, got as high as like 3 that way. Well, let's sort that day out a bit. Reached as far as 4 that way. And it's a fence post problem. I've got no idea how I'm counting in terms of with fence posts or between fence posts. This one would need to go one further to be comparable to that then. Just sort of smoothing that out a bit, I guess. This sort of carries through like that. And then how far down is this going to reach here? That's coming down a solid 3 blocks worth here. Yep, to sort of the middle of this round, where it'll then duck back in one, I guess. Yeah, it goes from being 20 wide to being 10 wide, sort of after we've come around this bit here. It's very, very awkward measuring all this in scales of 10 kilometers. But we've at least got that. Maybe that, just for like continuity of things. But we've got like that. Oh. And that. Whoa, that's not at all correct. That. Because it sort of doesn't really go over there. I mean, it sort of does, but it sort of doesn't. Like, I can't get the resolution to do that correctly. So, where do we call it? It's like the city centre is yeah, up there. So we'll call this up here. One of these two, this one maybe. Or as close to the edge as I can get it. Will it let me do an edge? Like. It won't. It's going to be in the center of a block no matter where I go. Alright. Ooh, wrong number of letters there. Melbourne. Vic. Okay. It's it makes Melbourne look much bigger than Sydney, doesn't it? Is it actually like that much bigger in footprint? Oh, it kind of is. Looking at them on my zoomed out map. I guess maybe it's artificial because of the way it wraps around things, but yeah, Sydney's just a big clump. But Melbourne's got a hook around all of that. Yeah. I guess Sydney's denser of population, let's say. Let me have a little one more kind of glimpse at that. So yeah, that's Sydney, that's Melbourne. Yeah, I'd say Melbourne's bigger land area without looking anything up. Alright, so those ones down, which means we are heading in for Brisbane. Where is Brisbane? And how big is it? Okay, so it's also got some nice coastal things I might be able to use to ID it. Just depends upon what I did up here. Yeah, so if I had to guess, that's that bit, which means this next bit down here, this is the bit I'm looking at. This hooky bit here, because it bumps out and then we hit the state border. Where's the state border? There it is. Oh dear. The state border is in the bumpy yaddy bit, maybe. Well, that's bad. This border should be maybe a bit higher to be in that bit. Ugh. I guess yeah, it sort of depends on what I've done with the scale of things here. But maybe the best way to do this is to flick over to my other map briefly, to my land one. Work out how I did this with the terrain. Yeah, so that's sort of where we're going there. That big hooky bit there. Yep, okay. Convinced. Right, so now that I know roughly where it is, let's check the chat there. There's also some argument about where exactly Sydney stops. There are maps that include Newcastle as part of Greater Sydney. Well, I'm not doing that. I counted where Sydney stopped, and by extension Melbourne and the others, by where the boundary appears when I type their name into Google Maps. Where the red dotted line stops is where the edge of Sydney stops. Considering that I'm working on scales of like multiples of 10 kilometers. So, oops, that's the wrong way again. So this is the bit that hooks around Brisbane here, as near as I can tell. So we get some distance sort of. Let's see some distance sort of stuff here. Distance from there to there. Alright, so let's say we've got from bottom to top, it's like 80 k's. Like the tippiest, highest bit of Brisbane's 80 k's up the top there. Like all the way up to here sort of thing. Let me just check. Yeah, I'd say that there's a 1 block gap there before it tucks back in. Yep. Then it can come back in. And it comes down 80 k's there. So that's like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Which I think might be one too far. Maybe. Okay, yeah, that sort of height of things. From the bottom here we'll go 20 out to the right, then up a block, then 30 out to the left. So 20 out to the right, and then from up a block, 30 out to the left, kind of thing. Yeah, let's just be generous. That's 30 wide, sort of. Nah, it basically stays 20 wide, 10 wide for a lot of that. So in fact, I might even take that one out. Add some more time on before it gets too dark. Something like that. Now I might give them one more there just to broaden the bottom. But that seems like Brisbane. Which again is pretty large sort of land area, but what are you going to do? That's basically what it is. Brisbane itself, somewhat central in all of that. So Brisbane itself kind of like back here a bit. Oh, slightly off. Slightly off, tiniest bit. Good enough. It was probably exactly the same. Brisbane QLD. Okay. All right. So Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. Nice. Looking good. What else have we got? We've got Adelaide, which should also be equally easy based on a bit of crucial terrain. Let's figure out where Adelaide is. Adelaide being nowhere near as big as I would have thought. I mean, I knew it wasn't as big as the others. Let's see. So, right about, right here in this long straight stretch, which is going to make it hard to measure. Kind of lines up with there a little bit. Let's see. So let's get that ruler out again. Gets it extremely narrow, like it effectively drops under a 10-kilometer width once we get below that point. So there's effectively nothing below there. This is the lowest it can get. From there, reaches up 40 k's, kind of thing. That sort of thing, yeah, to somewhere near where that starts to kick out. Maybe we'll go one more, because it's just before that, kind of there, around about there. And in terms of its width, at its widest, yeah, it's 20 k's. I'm even going to do that. And just that, I think. That would be too much, yeah. Because it gives it that gradient edge there. Okay. And the actual city itself, like the centre of Adelaide, kind of about, yeah, here, sort of thing. Not quite the coast, it's sort of back here. It's not really up there, it's on the lower section. Right to where it sort of transitions from 20 k's wide back to 10 k's wide. But I will do it up here just for clarity, so it's not too close to its own border. Adelaide. Sa. Okay. Which means we'll swing around to Perth while we're here. We'll go back up to the Northern Territory. So, yeah, geography of Perth. Kind of at that inwardmost bit before it starts to round back out. Ooh, I've got a weird little one bit of water there. Is that going to help me maybe? How does that line up with things? What could that have been? Let me go to my other map. Work out why I've got one weird bit of water there. Yeah, okay, so that bit of water's down there. And there's Perth there. Right. Okay. Let's mark from there to there. So, Perth is right sort of here as it begins to straighten back up. That's just underneath it. So relative to that sort of bit, Perth's centre of Perth is like 7 blocks above that kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sort of thing there. Does that seem about right? Yeah, because it does start to creep back up that edge. So from that central point, reaches about 50 blocks down, 50 k's down the coast, but that's nowhere near being 10 kilometers across. To get 10 kilometers across, gotta be only like 30, 40 down the coast from there. So that's the best I can do. Then you can be 3 blocks across above that. And you can kind of stay that high for 3 or 4 blocks. Oh, just pushing all sorts of buttons there. There we go. That should be fine now. What were we saying? 30 there. Yeah, like another 20 up there. Oh, and we're like full on night time. It'll only be like 2 blocks across to that point, sort of thing. That kind of thing. Yes. That sort of thing. There might be like 1 more block up there, and there's like a bit of wispy stuff there and there, but that's as near as I'm going to get. Again, whereabouts is Perth itself? Within Perth. Kind of, yeah, central there and sort of before there, so it's, yeah, somewhere up here, here or here, I'd say we do this one here. Long angle again. Try to be as square on as possible. Perth. Wah. Okay. That one is slightly crooked, but I'm going to ignore it. Which means we now have to just go through this vast expanse all the way up to the Northern Territory, pop in Darwin. Let's see, where's Darwin? It's also not very big. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Just sort of zooming in and out, looking at the relative position of where this is. Trying to get this going, and we're up here. Just like straight below that connected bit here. Somewhere in all this wonky sort of bit here. A lot of ins and outs there. Like somewhere here, basically, is Darwin. In terms of width, it literally gets like 20-25 k's. And in terms of height, it'll get to 10 k's in like 2 different parts. It's gonna like zigzag. That's gonna be awkward, especially given that I can't work out exactly where that is, because it's all a bit vague there, but something in the vicinity of here. Like it's not real good. Maybe if I do that to help it along. Nah, don't want that. This almost needs to be on the other side. Like that. That sort of shape. I say we go with that. And then Darwin itself within that. Darwin is ridiculously tiny. Like the bit that's like primarily the center of Darwin and not its outer suburbs. Yeah, it's like the coastal tip of that sort of thing here. This is it right here. Darwin, nut. Okay. So there's our Darwin. Very tiny in comparison to a lot of other things. We are not forgetting, but we ought to pop over to some of our islands in the vicinity of things. Tasmania, which is now fully green. Let's go Hobart. Where are you at? So Hobart's down in this part of Tassie. Yeah, down in this lumpy bit here. And it's a nightmare because it's got all river and all sorts of stuff running through it. You know, and at no point is it ever like more than 10 kilometers laterally anywhere. It's all diagonal. So it's going to be like 1 block wide diagonally all over the shop. Like here and here. How far up are we talking? Oh, yeah, 3. I'll help it along a bit. It does sort of go to there a bit. That's pretty generous. That's bigger than it needs to be. But for the sake of it not just being a weird diagonal mess. And it's not actually there, it's more like on the coast. Let me just check. Yeah, like Hobart itself is like on the river that sort of goes into things. So I think I will put it here. Still slightly crooked, still going to be impossible to get right. Hobart, Tas. Alright. Then we need to head over to the NZ. And see what we've got for the North Island and the South Island. So on the North Island we've got Auckland up the top there. The South Island's just got all all of these other places, yeah. So let's figure out where that's at. Oh, night time again. Most of this is not anywhere near diagonal enough. So let me have a look at what's going on here. Because of course this is like map projections and stuff. So we've got that hook there, yes. Then we've got this bit here. This is where Auckland is. Yeah, it's on the other side of that bit of water there. It's on the other side of this bit of water here. And it reaches out over to this bit here. Yeah. Okay, let's get some distances on the go. Okay, rough guesstimation from here down to here. I'll give it that one as well. Whoops, not there though. No, not that one. Oops, going the wrong way again. I'm trying to scroll the Minecraft world like it's the Google map. Oh dear. All a bit funny because again, map projection and stuff that should be tilted, but it's all a bit upright. So I've had to do a weird sort of projection in my head of that. And Auckland itself, yeah, it's sort of on the water tippy bit over this bit over here. Auckland. Oops. Niz. Alright. Okay. And technically, do I have enough real estate up the top here to sneak in anything on here? Let me have a quick peek. I reckon Port Moresby is probably going to show up there, isn't it? Yes. It might. It might. Let's do our best guess of where that is. Kind of lines up. Let's see if I type it in. You know, it's not huge. What's its distances like? It's like, yep, basically 10k across and 10k up, and it's a single block. That's what it is. It's a 10 by 10 thing. So that is one block. But the location of that block is basically just above that little hooky bit that sticks out to those islands there. That little hooky bit there. It's just a smidge above that. So let's say on this line of blocks here, but right here. That. How does that feel? Something like good enough. I will move it a block down though, because it does need to be on like a coastal corner. So this is Port Moresby, PNG. Okay. Right, so this gets us all of our capital cities marked in. Let's go up to orbit, see if we can see much of them, what they look like from up on high. And then the time will come to accept nominations for lesser cities. Cities that are still classified as other important cities, whilst not being anything's capital. Oh, we're just above the cloud line. Right, so from orbit, yeah, we've got Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne, Hobart down there, Adelaide there, Perth over here, Darwin there. You see a peak of Port Moresby there, and Auckland over there. Nice. That's where most of the people live, and all those dots there. Great. So, what we attempt to do now is we attempt to place down other places of interest in the state. And my criteria for other places of interest is pretty vague. So let Google Maps give me some inspiration for other places that might be considered places of interest. Okay, Western Australia has Broome. I at least know that one. So let's pop in a Broome. So we're gonna need a colour for capitals, for important cities, but that aren't capitals, and just going by the logic of you know, whatever this is, yellow concrete, almost looking golden in colour. We want like the silvery sort of colour, like white or light grey or something. Let's get rid of that water for now. White or light grey. What do these look like? Oh yeah, I don't like the grey. White's more acceptable. In terms of a sign, bamboo now does stand out against those. So this is where we could... Ooh, pale oak. Not what I was going to go for. But I was going to say back to birch. Whoa, that's also not what I was trying to do. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. Let's try the birch. Yeah, again, it's about transition. We didn't like birch over here, even though... DS? Even though the wood was a good colour. I didn't like the trunk of the birch, contrasting against the yellow. But in this case, yes, now I do want this, because I do want the trunk of the birch contrasting against the kind of grey, whitey, silvery colour, and I don't want the pale pinkness coming through from that. So I think that's our new palette. Whoa, that was going to advance quite a lot. There we go. Let's attempt to find where broom is. So there's a chonk up here. I can see it. I can see it coming. There's a chonk here. Broom is on this chonk right here. Let's see. Is broom literally that bit there, is it? Could it be? It might be, you know. That was the wrong way again. You know what? I think it is. Yep, let's call it. And it's a single block. I'll measure it, but it's going to be a single block. Yeah, it's less than a 10 by 10. Now. And we're going to run into this issue now for everything else. Nothing else is going to be within a 10 square thingy. Ooh, that was a Wild Skeevers in the chat, was it? Could I please have a heat bag reheat? No worries, Skeevers. On our way. Let's pop in a broom. Super quick. And we'll be... Oh, can we do... There it is. Took it long enough. Alright. Let's be right back. Okay, we are back. No worries, skeevers, all good. You should be doing green signs through to emulate the road signs in Australia. That wouldn't have been a bad idea, except I reckon there's no good colour. Like, yeah, the warped wood is not going to be at all the right shade of green, and it's going to, yeah, stand pretty harsh against the grass and things. I mean, probably not too bad against there, but readability, yeah. If there was a better green, absolutely, that'd be right on the money. Let's go. Broom. There we go. It's not the right shade, but still. Don't worry. I'll do you one better. Well, not one better. I'll do you something else, because if we can't get the green road signs everywhere, what I am gonna try and ambitiously do is at least do the roads, and by roads I mean the highways, like the big ones around the country. So that'll at least, we can't have road signs, we can have roads. So that'll at least be something. So that's the only, and this is maybe my ignorance of Western Australia, that's the only other notable place I can think of in Western Australia. Perth and Broome. I'm sure there might be some other interesting places in Western Australia, but let me have a little look at what the map will show me. Like, yeah, there's lots of places that I've heard the name of. Port Hedland, 80 Mile Beach, Coral Bay, yeah. Geraldton, Margaret River, Albany. Yeah, like a bunch of place names that I know. But, you know, that's about it in terms of the big name things. So going into Northern Territory now. Places I've recognised from there are Catherine, Davenport, and of course Alice Springs. So let us try our very best to figure out where they are. So, working down from the top. Oh, Skeev is saying a bunch of stuff in the chat. Bunbury, Mandurah, Margaret River. Oh dear. Let me have a look. I did say I was going to take recommendations in the chat from people that wanted to suggest notable places. Okay, so Bunbury and Margaret River, yeah, they're just both straight underneath Perth there. Mandurah, yeah, that's all, and Rockingham, yeah, all of this is just straight underneath Perth. I guess that's fine. I'm allowed to do that. And Albany down there as well. You know. Okay, well, maybe I'll pop some of them in real quick, because I reckon we can do that pretty easily. Whoop, nearly placed a block in the middle of mid-air. Okay. So, gonna start by doing Albany. No, it's an Albany expression. I think it's here. Yeah, it's just back from that little hooky bit there. That's not what I wanted. That there. Albany. Wah. There we go. And so over this way is the Skeevers 3. Margaret River, Bunbury, Mandurah. I found an abandoned place in Western Australia. What does that even mean? Let's see. So Margaret River just arbitrarily here. It's in the ballpark of there. And then Bunbury. Actually, 19 abandoned cities. Oof. That's a lot of abandonment. Bunbury. Maybe here? Yeah. Yeah, I reckon so. Probably that one there. Bunbury, what? According to the wiki. Alright. So, Mandurah. We're heading up to here now. And the watery hole here. So, Mandurah's just above that weird watery hole. Right here, I would say. Now, let me just check how big Perth is to check that it's not going to encompass it. It's not. No, it is literally a block or two below it in comparison. So, yes. That's fine there. Okay. Mandurah. Wow. Alright. Well, that might have us done for Western Australia, and we can go back to Northern Territory again. Like, they're all right down the bottom here. There are some others up here on the top that we could conceivably be doing. But in lieu of any other immediate suggestions for notable places, I'm going to do the 3 that I mentioned in Northern Territory, which were, when I find them again, Katherine, Devonport, Alice Springs. They're kind of like the next big 3 in there. So let me try and make my way up to where Katherine might be. Oh, we're up to 26 abandoned cities. The list extends. So Katherine's a little bit above here. Probably in line where that juts out there. And vertically in line, oh, still doing that, vertically in line with sort of about the middle of that-ish. So just as a complete stab, sort of in this line somewhere, like in line that way, but this way kind of more in line with, I'm going to say, the bottom one of these two. This one. So literally right there. And let's put a bit of grass there just to give it a chance to spread better. Alright, we'll call that one Katherine. Katherine NT. Seems they were abandoned because they were old mining towns. Yulara, probably a good one to mark. And a stay hydrated. Don't mind if I do, Skeevers. Thank you. Alright. Yulara. Let me find where that even is. And then we might consider marking it. Oh, there it is. Just happened to spot it there. Yeah, it's because it's not on like a... Well, yeah. It's not on the A87, the big road that's going straight down through all of these. But it is on that sideways one with a number 4 on it. The A4. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Let's try and mark down Yulara. How am I possibly going to do that? It's almost straight down from Darwin. Slightly to the east. We could try and do it by measurements from how close it is to the corner of the corner of that, actually. So like it's slightly east of that, but if we're going from the corner of here, Humpty Doo, faux show. What? I mean, I know Australia's got some weirdly named places in it, but let's get out the pixel measurements. So that's about 215 kilometers diagonally to it. So about 195 underneath. Let me mark it so I got a pin where it is. Oh, it's like a rectangle. Oh yeah, Ayers Rock Airport and stuff. Yep. Yep. Good call, good call. Alright. So, what am I looking at? It's about, yeah, around about 195-ish in from that side. And it's about, yeah, 80 north from there. So in theory, 20 blocks across and 8 blocks up from this intersection kind of thing. So if we're at 169, then looking at 189, and what did I say, like 8 blocks up? Yeah, like about 8 blocks up, adjusting for curvature. So 169 was so 189 and about 198. So 189 and about 198. And I'm going to go come across 1 for curvature. There. Now how does that compare to Darwin? It does look like it's a smidge east of it. Yeah. Okay, I'm satisfied with that, given that it's fully arbitrary whereabouts that roughly is. Let's call that Yulara, Northern Territory. Okay, so we got that one in. So I ate down from Yulara population wise. Let me type it in and find out where it's at. Humpty Doo, Northern Territory. It's another big square one. Why is everything big squares? The Boxing Croc, Humpty Doo Preschool. So, Arnhem Road, Humpty Doo Plumbing. Oh yeah, it's just back from from Darwin there. Okay. Okay, super close to Darwin. The real question is, have I got enough resolution? Oh, let's add a bit of time on again. Real question is, have I got enough resolution to even separate it from Darwin? I'm sure I do. Yeah. So what's its distance? If we go across 3 blocks and down 1 or 2, we'll be there. 1, 2, 3. So like here. That'll be it. Right there. Humpty-doo. And that's hump-doo-doo. Humpty-doo. Great. Alright. So, Humpty-doo there. Catherine there. Where was my next one? Davenport and Alice Springs. Yep, here we go. And again, how do we possibly mark down where these will be? Let's attempt to do a north-south distance. Okay, just staring at the map whilst trying to work out what I'm even doing here. So measure distance from there to there. So it's at a point that's, let's say, 56 blocks north of the South Australia border. So I'm going to pick an arbitrary point. I'm going to draw a line. 56 blocks north of somewhere here. Okay. Somewhere about here. So let's go here. This is nice. 240. So if we go 56 blocks north of that, well, 55 blocks north of that takes us to 150. So let's do that. Okay, so it's in this line somewhere. This is the line that's basically 56 blocks north of that border. Let's go relative to the edges now. That's about 400 k's, so 40 blocks across from this edge border here. So let's come back in. Let's come back in 40 from here. So this is at 269, so 229. Okay, so it's going to be over this point, but I'll also count from this border too, just because curvature of the earth and all that sort of stuff. So what if I went from the other border on this side? It's like 540 Ks. It's like 54 blocks from this side. So 54 blocks in from this side. That'll be 100, 221. Yeah, 221. Don't really like that. That's a lot of deviation from the curvature of the Earth. But that's, and that's only explained a little bit by the fact that this side's curving out that way and this side's curving out that way. So both of these should be in a little bit. So I should average these, sort of, bring them both in a bit. Bring this one in like that. Bring this one in like that. And then now it's just like slam, smack bang in the middle. That kind of thing. So right there. That sort of thing. Trying to remember other major towns you hadn't marked other than Allison, Catherine, and all I could think of was Mataranka. Population 350. Yeah, we might leave that one, although to be fair we put Humpty Doo in there, but I think I'd be prepared to make an exception for Humpty Doo. So somewhere roundabouts here. But yeah, this is the problem with doing something as large as the country, where the curvature of the Earth is going to completely throw things, as well as the map projections that I'm using. But thereabouts seems kind of right. Let's have a look at the zoomed out version of this. Yeah, it's further across than Catherine, and it kind of lines up with where, yeah, that sort of part up the top there, it sort of lines up with a part of there. So that's not the worst thing in the world. I can live with that one as well. So that's Davenport. Let's see, Davenport and Knit. Then we to Alice Springs. So how does that compare with say Davenport? For reference, it's kind of about 300 Ks down. Roughly. And 30 Ks across. So from here, 300 Ks down and 30 Ks across. We should put this at 180 and at 222. There, 180 and 222. I think that's good enough. Alice Springs, Northern Territory. Okay. So they're notable places in Western Australia, notable places in Northern Territory. While we're here, we might do South Australia. We might move across that way. Let's add a bit of time back on. So let's clear that off the map. Oh, there's Tennant Creek too. Don't remember ever going Tennant Creek. Must have gone through it to get Mataranka and Catherine. Yeah. That's a good point. Yes, there is Tennant Creek right there. Okay. We might do that as it makes for a reasonable junction point for future highways that we're going to put in. Tennant Creek. So relative to Davenport, because we'll do it from Davenport. Let's just go, say, directly up 15 blocks. That'd be near enough to spot on. So from Davenport at 225, let's go to 135. There we go, Tennant Creek. Yeah, I mean, 4-digit population. That's a major city by Northern Territory standards. Yeah, exactly. We got to draw the line somewhere, and the fact that it's on a highway means it's good enough for me. It's also almost at a junction of a highway, so that'll help things along a little bit. Okay, it is making Western Australia look sparse, but I guess that's not its fault. Let me have a look. Zoom out. South Australia. Zoom in slightly. Look for all the names. So there's all sorts of places here. There's Cooper Pedy. There's Port Lincoln. Flinders Ranges. Birdsville's technically in Queensland there. Oh, that zoomed in one more step and everything just popped in now. Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, you're right, Gatutha. I have gone very quiet. Thank you for that. Must have been muted for an indeterminate length of time while I typed something in. I accidentally hit my mute button. Okay. That's it. Let's unmute and cough into the mic. Okay, so we stuck in a Port Lincoln there. I said a couple of other place names around here that were sticking out to me. Yeah, Port Augusta, Whyalla. Yeah, let's do Port Augusta, because that's another good sort of convenient point for things. Yep, okay. Oh, did it again. That's... yeah, right here. That'll do. Port Augusta. Okay. I also had Flinders Ranges just above here. And then I might try and get relative to Port Augusta. Okay. So it's about 100 blocks north, or 100 kilometers north, and about 60 kilometers east. So go across 6 and up 10 from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 10. Take us to 269. Alright. So I'll take that one out. Flinders Ranges. Okay, so what else we got? Let's just have one of these, see how that goes. See how much the stream might be able to hear me sucking on a cough lolly. Alright, so Flinders Ranges. Where's my map gone? There we go. Clear those off now. Oh yeah, Mount Barker, Victor Harbour. Oh, Cooper Pedy. Oh, way up there. Ah. Okay, we'll do Cooper Pedy last because it's going to be a challenge to get to. But, yeah, Mount Barker, Victor Harbour. Oh, Cape Jaffa. That's interesting. Okay, so how do we get these mapped out? Mount Barker. It's kind of just across. Oh, I had a bit of time on. It's kind of just across from this. Couple of blocks. How far is that? Three blocks in from the coast. Yeah, literally there. And Victor Harbour. How do we mark that one out now? That's kind of, yeah, if we look at that big streak there, we've got this nice big sort of edge that runs around here. Oh, I've done it again. I've done the scrolling for zooming in and out, but on the wrong thing. It's going to be like, yeah, in one of these two here. I'm gonna do it at that one, I think. Victor Harbour, South Australia. Okay. And now we need Cooper Pedy, which is way up there somewhere. Cooper Pedy. Let's see. How are we going to do this? So again, if we do it to state boundaries and things, it's about 34 blocks south of the border. Let me line it up roughly with the others. Further across than Alice Springs, yeah. So it's like somewhere abouts here, but 34 blocks south from the border. So about 34, so that'll take us to 239. 234 at 239. That one there, so somewhere in line with this. That's how far south of the border it is. What if I took that and went to the sides? It's about 56 blocks, 560 k's from the left one, from the west. So let's go to sort of 240 here, just for convenience. And, oh, that's nice, 170. So if I want to go off 56, yeah, 56, that's going to be 226. But if I counted it from the other border edge, because again, curvature of the earth, ooh, oh, it's like almost 600 on the dot, 60 blocks, and it also almost lines up with the corner of New South Wales. which of course has got a downhill line there, but on the map I'm looking at on Google Maps is completely flat because, again, curvature of the Earth. You know, 240's up here. Yeah. Okay. Sure. But, yeah, we're coming back here at 299, we're coming back 60 blocks to 239. Which, again, is a ginormous difference. Just like it was up there. And if we try and split the difference, even by a bit... 1, 2, 3, 4, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, bam. You know, we'd be looking at maybe something like there. That sort of thing. How would that line up with the geography down there? Yeah, that does. It does sort of line up with that bit there. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Okay. It's almost like it would have been easier to locate these obscure towns and cities if we had the roads in already, because then we could go from that. But I guess maybe the reverse is true. You know, having these in will help us place the major arterials and things. Curvipedi. Sa. Okay. And I think that is South Australia basically done. Like, there are other features and things that we could be marking off. But that's all kind of like the big name notable things. Which means, do we pop into Victoria just because it's like small? Get it out of the way next. And maybe Tassie while we're in the neighbourhood. Okay, yes, so of course straight away Geelong. I've never really known how to place Lake Eyre on a map. Now I have a way of remembering it. It's the imaginary corner of Queensland. Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. Yes. Lake Eyre is where that internal corner would have been if we followed it through. A little bit west of that point. But yeah, it places the edge of it quite nicely. I like that. And I did think about that too. I did think about putting some of this inland lake, you know, water patches in certain places, but it gets a bit tricky, especially when you're needing definite 10 by 10 patches of water to make sure you can absolutely say that there's water there. So what have we got? I'm gonna go back and put one more in South Australia real quick. I'm gonna put in Mount Gambier. Then we're gonna continue across. Okay. Mount Gambier. Just down here. Well, that's the wrong way again. Add a bit of time back on. So somewhere down here It's only about 2.5 blocks above the coast. About 2 blocks from the border there. So that there. Yeah, let's mark that one off there. Alright. That'll be helpful later. And then so back into here. Area's about the size of Adelaide's Gulf, which you clearly have. I mean, that's true. I mean, it is. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, okay. Maybe mark that one down for later when we're not doing towns and roads and stuff. Yeah. Because, yeah, the awkward part will then be thinking about terrain. Do we do, yes, inland terrain and stuff. So notable places in Victoria. Well, you've got your places near Melbourne, like your Geelong and your Ballarat, your Bendigo or your Shepparton. You got notable sort of crossing points like Albury and Mildura / Wentworth. What side of things are these technically on? Wentworth is technically New South Wales. Mildura is technically Victoria. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then you got all these other places like Deniliquin, Jerilderie, Hay. But that's up in New South Wales now. I've completely crossed the border. Yeah. What am I doing? Got to stay below that line there. Can you write on both sides of Minecraft signs? Ooh. You can now. You never used to be. Yeah, like in the olden times, you could not. But now you absolutely can. So yes, we could have a double-sided sign on a border. Good for Albury, yes. We can literally have it as New South Wales and Victoria on opposite sides. Put it right on the border there. Okay, so let's... Excuse me. Let's get a few of these marked down. I'm just going to highlight the Victorian border just so that I don't keep looking over it and stuff. So all these ones around down the bottom here that I was looking at, where have they gone? Yeah, there you go. So yes, your Ballarat, your Geelong, those sort of things. How do we place that against Melbourne? Yep, so Geelong, again scrolling instead of flying. Geelong's literally there. That's not so bad. Just bashing into the microphone and everything there. So there's Geelong. Ballarat now. Let me get a bit of the measuring tape out for that. Geelong's there and Ballarat's there. 80 kilometres on the diagonal. But yeah, it's like 60 kilometres above. Let's say 40 kilometres across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. that sort of thing. That'll be Ballarat. How does that feel compared to what we've done here? Basically fine. It's I would like it one block higher, in fact, really. So I will put it one block higher. Just for the sake of that. Well, alright. Okay. So we got Geelong, we got Ballarat. While I'm down the coast here, is there anything else I want to mark off down here? I'm just like literally literally driving around the bottom here now, looking at place names. Yeah, no, they're fine. I'm not touching any of them. Okay, so up north a bit more, we've got Bendigo and Shepparton. And then we start looking into border places. Okay, so maybe we do that one relative to Ballarat, perhaps? Yep, it's about 90 k's north and awkwardly 35 k's east. So, you know what, 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, so somewhere there. And then 90 north, so... Oh, is it going to be directly above Geelong? No, it's not. So I should do it back on this one then. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. That one will be Bendigo there. The real question is about how dangerously close to the border this starts to get. So maybe we have a little counter that. It's something like 90 k's to the border. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yeah. Good enough. Some of this could be down a tiny bit. But that's fine by me. Okay. So Bendigo. Okay. Sun's on its way down again. So there's Bendigo. Shepparton, we can probably do relative to Bendigo. Only 100 k's apart. Yeah, like literally almost 100 horizontally and about 40 vertically. So let's see, about 10 across and 4 up. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's dangerously close to a border there. What's the actual borderness of things? Should be more like 5 blocks because the border started to bend back up again, which it has. I'm going to move it down one more. Yep. Yep, just starting to get a bit too close to that border there. Oh, Shepperton? Is that right? Shepperton? Shepperton? Yeah, it just looks a bit weird. Okay. So they're all our internal sort of ones. So relative to them, now it's just our excuse me, now it's just our border ones. So if we head up to Wentworth Mildura, try and work out what we're even going to do there. You can almost just eyeball it from here. How far in is it from these? Yeah, we're 90 and then 100, 110. And technically, yes, Wentworth's on the New South Wales side, Mildura's on the Victoria side. So coming in here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's put them there and there. That's good enough for what we've got going on. So that's Wentworth in New South Wales, first one in New South Wales. And this one, Mildura in Victoria. Okay. And now we need, Mr. Chicken. Now we need Albany. Back over here somewhere. Wrong way again. Not Albany, Albury. That's the other one. How are we going to figure this one out? It's going to have to be a measurement again. About 130-ish. And then 30-ish. Yeah, that's going to be bad. About 130 across, then 30 up. Well, that's not going to fly at all. Right, let's just clear that weather. Just so I can see what I'm doing. I know it's ambient, but I want to be able to try and wrap my head around what I'm having to do here. Because I've just like I've really mangled the border here by just guessing some stuff, and so some of these are going to be completely off now. So let me just measure that one more time. Yeah, 130 across. So we're looking at like going across, say, 13 blocks from here. So to 349. Yeah, but then we're supposed to go up a heap. Well, we can go up by 1. So let's call this Albury. Let's go Albury Vic. Oh, what am I doing? It's got to be on the next line. Vic. And on the other side of this one, Albury, New South Wales. Aha. That's tricky. The one double-sided sign that we've got. And with that, I think we've got Victoria done. We should duck down to Tasmania while we're here, because there's not that many notable places in my mind that I can think of offhand for Tasmania. So let me just scroll down that way. Remind myself. So yes, you've got Hobart, you've got Port Arthur, Launceston, Devonport. Oh yeah, Cradle Mountain. That's not really, yeah. Oh yeah, Queenstown, Stanley. Yeah, I mean there are places, of course, when you zoom in and really look at it. So, what can we get up top here on this edge? This little one that flicks out here, that is literally Stanley. So I'm going to put that in. I feel like I know that one. Ah, I've done it again. I hope I haven't written any signs actually like that. Surely I wouldn't have. So we got Stanley there. There we go. Devonport. Yes, how am I going to mark this? Okay, so... Ooh, ambient music. Nicely timed. Wrong way again. So, Devonport's, yeah, in kind of like this flat. So, I think I'm going to just guess it. Literally here. Devonport, Tasmania. Okay. And Launceston, which is almost straight above Hobart, but not quite. How does it compare to Devonport? So we're Right, 70 blocks across. About 30 down. Oop. Excuse me. So about 70 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 3 down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the land there. Because again, that's nothing like what this looks like on Google Maps, but anyway. Oh, Stanley, population 595. Okay. Smithton would have been a more prominent town for its area. You're right, it would have. I just have in my mind that I know Stanley. Maybe because it's right out on the tip, the sort of tippy tip there of Tasmania. So, after all, these are notable, let's say. Oh no, I said important. Mark out capital cities and other important locations. Okay, maybe I should change that to noteworthy. Or something. What was that? Launceston. Launceston. Tas. Okay. And what else did we have? Oh, yes, Port Arthur. And that's basically it to my mind. Maybe Georgetown. Yeah, we'll do Georgetown, then we'll do Port Arthur. Okay. No, I don't really... Well, I say do Georgetown, but I don't really understand what I've got here. Like, if I'm going to be consistent, I'm going to have to put Georgetown, like, in one of these two here. Yeah, like here. It's not good. Not good at all, but what can you do? Georgetown. I remember us driving through the middle of Tassie, heading from Hobart to visit somewhere in the north half. Yes. Yes, yes. Something up that way. So, was it Port Arthur at its roughest sort of point down here? Just probably, again, the tippy tip of this will do. Just for the sake of it being the port there. Port Arthur, okay. And let's say that's Tasmania done. Which means, and I know we're jumping all over the place, but I'm gonna run over to New Zealand since it's right here. And there was just a fish and chip shop on the side of the road in the middle of a forest. No town, just a random fish and chip shop. Best fish and chips ever had. I have heard good reports of fish and chips in selected venues at Tasmania. So I could believe that. Absolutely. That would not be a huge surprise to me. Okay. Alright, Well, obviously, we're going to have to put Wellington in. What's that look like for this bit? What's that actually line up with? Yeah, Wellington's around that side of it. So, I'd say that's Wellington there. Really. It hooks around water. So, as awkward as that is, let's make that one Wellington. Okay. Yeah, there's like lots of places you could be marking here. There's a bunch of stuff on the South Island. Yeah, Christchurch and... yeah, let's try. So... oh, but then of course Tasmania runs out. Oh, not Tasmania. New Zealand runs out. I forgot about that. Well, I think this is Christchurch here. We should be able to get that sorted. Just got to work out how to do it here. Let's go here. And let me just check real quick. Yeah, like something that I've actually not been thinking about at all with these is the actual size of some of these, because of course your capital cities are taking up actual landmass, but all these other notable towns I've just been putting down as single squares. But Christchurch would take up 2 squares. It does have a kind of a width of a solid 20 k's in its sort of city centre and surrounding areas. I've not really thought about that for anything. Huh. Yeah, nothing else I've done in Australia is bigger than a square, exactly. So, yeah. Alright, let's go these two. Those two there. We'll call that Christchurch. Breaks the mould a little bit. Christchurch. Let's see. Yeah, and that just abruptly stops, so that abrupt stoppage, yep, sort of takes out anything else that I might have put down there. So anything else in the Northern Island? I mean, yeah, we could do a bunch of miscellaneous is the wrong word, but yeah, we could do a bunch of miscellaneous places up here, but I don't think we do. It's not the star of the show, unfortunately. New Zealand. Other than capitals, there are very few large cities enough for that. Gold Coast, Newcastle, Sunshine Coast. Yes, exactly. That's why I'm sort of leaving Queensland, New South Wales for last, because I'm imagining that some of those are going to have footprints. Yeah. No, that's a good call. So maybe we do that, and look at that sun setting. And so I reckon, given the time How long have we actually been going at this? Yeah, just over 3 hours. Given the time, maybe we think about making a start on Queensland and then calling it? Starting with New South Wales next time? Maybe? Is there lots of stuff in Queensland? Geelong is one of the biggest non-capital footprints. Okay. Let me take a chance to just check out Geelong again. Oh yeah, it's not quite 20 kilometers tall, but it gets close to it. You know, it does make me want to put maybe 2 blocks of height on it. Let's find Geelong. We're literally above it. Bam. Ow. Yep, give it a second block. There we go. Geelong. Slightly taller. There we go. Okay, let me scroll to Queensland. So, yeah, you got your Port Douglas, your Cairns, Townsville, Mackay, Mount Isa, Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast. If we zoom in a bit more, Rockhampton, Bowen, Airlie Beach. Cooktown. Then all your internal sort of stuff, your Birdsville. Zoom in even more. Oh yes, and there's your Goondiwindi on borders and things. Toowoomba. Yes, and then your Tweed Heads and stuff right on borders and things. Okay. Maybe we leave that for next time. This is going to be a little bit more of a thinker to think through which of these Queenslanders are going to make the cut. Because again, it'd be nice to have some of these ones in the middle just as anchor points for the highways and things. Major roads and stuff that we're going to maybe try and map down. And then when we get into New South Wales, there's just stuff everywhere. You could be dropping pins in the map all over the place here. And we probably will. Okay. Alright, well maybe let's close out of that. And let's maybe start wrapping this up, I reckon. We're gonna need a solid thumbnail shot, which means I'm gonna have to clear some blocks out of the inventory. Clear those ones, seeing as though we haven't used those ones in ages. We won't be able to see any of the signs from orbit. They'll disappear. They'll disappear as the render distance of items pops out. But we'll definitely see all the yellows from orbit, and we'll see these random white dots. These little speckles of sort of dandruff dropped on the country. Okay. Oh, it's still too high for the clouds. There we go. Oh, I should take that off. There we go. Let's line up a good shot.
Somewhere in there. That's pretty good, I reckon. Somewhere in there would be a good thumbnail shot. Yeah, you can barely make out those dots. Feeling the crosshair is clearer than some of these. But yeah, bunch of little spots for little points of interest around the country. And next time, which hopefully will be next week still. At some point we'll probably start missing a week or two again. But actually, no, we will be missing next week. Oh, okay, yeah. Look at the calendar, Sharky. All right, let's correct that. So next week, no stream. Possibly not even the week after that. We'll have to see. There's going to be a couple of Mondays coming up that's going to knock things out. So yeah, this will be a good place to abandon the build for a little bit. So in 2 or 3 weeks, or however long it takes for us to get back here, we will, on the agenda, sort out notable places in Queensland, notable places in New South Wales, maybe then think about trying to connect up key infrastructure, sort of national highway roads and things. Not every, little interstate road and stuff like that, but at least the major national highways and any other prominent connectors around the place. Maybe we give some thought to terrain, like internal reservoirs and other sorts of things. Maybe we give some thought to like the aridness of different places, but I don't really want to go down that far, marking those sorts of things down, but we'll see. And then from there, that'll be basically the map of the country sorted, and then we will jump into the next phase of the build challenge. Nothing more to say about that just right now, but suffice it to say that the country is not the only thing we're building in this scale representation. But that's a treat for, I don't know, maybe another 2 episodes time, which will take us a month to get to, let's say. So let's call it there. Thank you everyone for watching. That has been another stream to be Overthunk by Sharky. Thanks everyone, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.